Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and many people say that the iPhone XR is a huge failure. However, according to Apple, it's just the opposite. They say it's the best-selling phone since it's been released. And since I've been using it for the past week as my main phone, I wanted to talk about why I don't think it's a failure. And the first thing is, like I said, Apple says it's the best-selling phone since it's been released, and I think that has to do more with price than what the actual phone is. They've been very aggressive on trying to push these out the door with trade-in offers, and many carriers will even give you one free if you sign up for new service. So I think it's a good value at $750. It's okay for an iPhone, but it's a much better value when you trade in a phone and get it for around $500. Now, the next thing is I'm seeing more and more people with them. At least in the area where I live, I see these everywhere. And I don't know if that's necessarily where you live, but in the United States, here around the Charlotte, North Carolina area, I see a lot of these. And in fact, I've traveled a few times these past couple months, and I see more and more of these, even used by some tech YouTubers. So this is a pretty popular phone despite what people may think. I see it in white and red and all the different colors. People seem to like the colors and, like I said, the price. Now, the next thing is, despite this 720p display, I know a lot of people don't like the specs of the display, but I've shown this to so many people and not even one person said it looked inferior. In fact, a lot of people said it looks great. Maybe there's a little fuzzing around the edges here, and most people seem to think that this is a really great display, great colors, great viewing angles. And really, it's not the resolution that matters, it's the pixel density that matters. So as long as it's over 300 pixels per inch, and because of the way an LCD display works, you can't see the pixels. In fact, if I put this side by side with another phone that has an OLED display, there's an argument that says the OLED display has to be those higher resolutions so that you can't see the pixel difference. So despite what your thought is on that, if I could put these and kind of hide which phone it was, I bet you can't tell the difference. And I certainly have no problem with it, except its lack of 3D touch. That's my main concern personally. That's something I used a lot. Other than that, I have no problems with it. Now, the next thing I really like is that it's super fast. It's really the same speed as any of the current phones. It has 1 gig less of RAM, and that's more because it doesn't need to push that big display. And because the resolution's lower, you're also going to benefit from the best battery life of any iPhone. And I know in some objective tests, this has not been the best phone as far as that goes, but in day-to-day use, and even according to Apple, it's their best phone as far as battery goes. And that's certainly been my experience. Easily will last you through a day, 7 to 9 hours of screen on time. If you get that smart battery case, you're talking days of use, unless you're a really heavy user. You've got all the same features as far as the internals. You've got the same features as far as the wireless charging, and of course the camera. Now, I know some people say that with having just one camera, it's a problem for them. Personally, I find it's just as good. I don't really use Zoom too much, and as far as a video camera is concerned, with its image stabilization using the neural engine, I record a lot of videos lately using this camera for this channel, and many of you have said, what camera are you using? It looks amazing. I'm using high-end cinema cameras normally, or even a Panasonic GH5. Most people say and ask me, what camera am I using? And it's always this camera, or an iPhone XS Max camera. So these cameras are amazing, especially if you have the right lighting. They're better than a lot of cameras you would think, and they have amazing autofocus. So unless you need that cinematic depth of field look, like I kind of have now a little bit, you really aren't going to be disappointed with this camera, I don't think. And of course, the speakers on this are the same. You can't really hear it in a video like this, but the speakers on this phone are as good as any of the other iPhones. Some people have said they're a little louder. I'd say they're the same as a XS or a XS Max. I've had no issues with the speakers. I love using it. It's got a nice wide stereo sound, and I think most people will be pretty happy with that. So that's really it with this phone. I enjoy using it. I really like to use it because it doesn't give me headaches like an OLED display does. If you're sensitive to a flickering display, even though you can't see the flicker, it actually gives me a headache and makes me feel nauseated if I look at it for about more than 10 minutes, unfortunately. And I don't get that with an LCD. My eyes aren't as strained, and I have a better experience with it with this. And I know a lot of people are getting this phone because of that reason. People have contacted me personally actually probably weekly and said, I'd love to get a 10s Max, but I can't because the display hurts my eyes. So that's something that about 1 in 10 people experience. So I really enjoy using the 10R, especially that battery life, and I like the different colors that it has as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I don't think it's a failure. I think it's probably selling quite well and average compared to other iPhones. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and like. I'll link this wallpaper if you don't have it already in the description below. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.